Hello again. My name's Kimberly, and I wanted to continue on with the story that I started with one of my last videos. So I was explaining in 2010 that I had a psychotic break, and during my break I went for a walk, what I call a walkabout, and I was heavily with my delusions, as there were people in my mind, and I was doing things and talking, and I actually spent 2 nights out away from home while I was on that walkabout. And I have my notes, and I'm going to read to you the rest of the story. Okay. So after I spent time with my delusions out in the forested area, and been 2 nights. On the second night, I went and walked along a railroad track that was close by where I was, and I followed it towards the city. And as I was following it, I came into an encampment of homeless people that were under an overpass. And it's like, when I saw those people, it dawned on me, it hit me that, oh my God, there's people out, wait, people, because I was spending time with my delusions those 2 days. I just wasn't with it. I was in the wrong frame of mind. I went into the encampment, or the camp, and I talked to these 2 guys who were outside. They were like smoking pot or something, and I don't think they offered me, and I didn't ask for it. I was just still really caught up in my delusional thinking, the break from reality because of psychosis. I was just intent on listening to what they say, like they had something to say to me. And one of the guys gave me a pair of socks. He's like, "You're wearing sandals and no socks?" He's like, "Aren't you cold?" And then I was offered to lay down in a tent where there was a woman and her dog in the tent, and they said that she wasn't going to hurt me or anything. I was going to lay down, and I actually did lay down for about 3 minutes, but I got back up and came back out. And but actually, before I went and laid down, one of the guys' name was Kenny, and I don't know the other guy's name, but I think Kenny had a phone, and he said, "Don't you have someone you love that you need to talk to? You know, someone that your family that you need to talk to or get a hold of or something? You're all alone out here." And it was like 1 in the morning, I think. And I was like, "Oh my God, home!" And it's just like reality hit me, and I was like, "Yeah, I need to talk to my husband." And so I called and talked to my husband and told him I was okay. And I told him, he was asking me where I was, and I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm gonna finish walking. I'll walk back to the house. I'll be fine." And then he had me talk to my daughter, and she was upset and worried, and he was worried and upset. And yeah, I was like, telling them I loved them and I cared for them, and that I was on my way back to the house. My husband had been searching for me those 2 days, and he tried getting help from my family, but the only person who really was helping him was my mother. Everyone else just kind of flaked out on him, and it was not a good experience for him anyways. So okay, let's see. After my phone call and I laid down in the tent, and then I decided I didn't want to stay, I got out and I'm like, "Thank you, I'm gonna go now." And I started leaving, and I followed the train tracks back into town, and then during that time, let me see, it was like in my mind I had this sensation or this delusional thought that's grandiose, or I forget what you call it. During that time I had a delusion that I needed to help maintain the world and the earth and the moon and maintain its balance and make sure that nothing happens to it. I had the grandiose thought. For some reason I thought I could do that. I don't know why it came over me, but and then I was walking home, towards home, and this guy was walking. I saw this guy walking towards me, and something came over me, another thing came over me, and I'm just like, I need to give this guy a hug. I don't know, so it's like, I felt really loving and caring at that moment, and I gave him a hug, and he's like, wow, people in the city are so nice. And then he kept on walking, and then I kept walking home. Let me see. Okay, and I continued walking. I crossed this bridge, and on the other side of this bridge was this bar, and on the bar is this painting of these two angels. One's a demon and one's a good angel. And in my mind I heard my delusional people say to me that that represents me, that I have a good side and a bad side. And I was like, okay. And anyways, I continued walking, and then I came to a billboard, and on the billboard it said, let me see, right, oh, on the billboard it said, warning, a hurricane is coming on the 3rd of November. And in my head to myself I said, that doesn't have to be a hurricane, and we will not let it happen. We could stop the hurricane. So I had the delusion that I could somehow control or change the weather, and or help so things wouldn't be bad, so the hurricanes wouldn't happen, or so storms and well, I don't know, for some reason I thought that I could like impart some change on the weather. And I continued walking, and and then when I got closer to my home, I had this thought. It was like, before it was like the delusional people were in my mind, it was my imagination. And then I heard this voice where it said, see your people. And I'm like, what do you mean, see your people? I'm like, wait a second. You people are real? You're not just in my head? You're not just invisible and talking to me? So I was like confused about that. And I was like, wait a second. And then I continued walking, and I got to a bike path that was on the way home, and along it I came across a woman. Well, before I saw a woman coming, and I don't know, I was very not myself during this time of psychosis. And I was angry at my husband and at the world, because I felt like they had all lied to me about the truth of this world and reality, because what I was experiencing was so much different than what I had known during my whole life. So anyways, I saw this woman coming towards me, and I like sat down on the bike path, and kind of was upset, and she seemed concerned. She came close to me and she asked me, are you okay? Do you need some prayer or something? And I denied having someone pray for me. I said, no, I don't need prayer. And then I got up and continued walking, and eventually got back to the house, and my husband was parked in the driveway in our car. He had just dropped our daughter off to school, and he was emotionally drained. And he was happy, so excited to see me, but also nervous too. And he he helped me clean up. I took a bath, I washed up, got dressed. My mom came by, and my husband's like, Kim, you need to go to the doctor. You got cuts on your ankle that are really bad, and we need to check you out. You've been gone for 2 days. I'm really worried. And so he convinced me, okay, I'll go get a checkup and see what's going on. I still didn't feel it. I didn't know that I was psychotic or having, I mean, even though I was talking to these delusional people in my mind, I didn't get the full, I didn't realize I was being psychotic. And that day I was diagnosed, and I wasn't admitted anywhere, but I was given a prescription and assigned a psychiatrist from that day. So during this walkabout, I explained that I was sexual with my delusions, and because of that, I had the delusion that I gave birth to a child when I was out there, and I didn't see any child, but I heard like a voice say mama, and even though newborns don't talk, for some reason it just seemed legit. It seemed like I did give birth in my mind to a child when I was out on my walkabout during those 2 days. And because of that, I felt like these delusional people call me mother. And so it's really odd and confusing. And also that I'm married to some of these delusional people that I was sensual with. And that's an ongoing delusion. And like, my delusions are ongoing. It's like, it's a storyline, and it just continues from there. It's like, I don't forget the delusional thoughts and the delusions that I have created, and it's like a storyline, and little bits and pieces I add to it, and little bits and pieces I add to the storyline. So my delusions involve colors, and also music. I get triggered by music, different songs that come on the radio or I hear while shopping. I get triggered by them, especially if they're love songs. I feel like they're about me, and the lyrics always kind of can bother me, and I don't know why. I feel like the songs are related to me, but for some reason I always feel that way, and I'm trying not to, but it's a work in progress. Also, anything I see in the movies on television or on streaming networks, any kind of series, especially sci-fi, it's hard to watch because I always find a way to feel like the characters are written after me somehow like I was supposed to be representing me, And I know it's very egotistical, but I don't know why I feel that way. It's just like part of the delusional thought mind process. And also, so watching television or movies or streaming networks or series or listening to the radio, I just can't do it I really can't. And the only kind of music I enjoy listening to is Christian or instrumental or music that I already know the lyrics to, but even then it bothers me. So I get triggered so easily, especially if it has to do with love or if it has to do with motherhood. So, another trigger that was really bad for a while, after I had the delusion that I had a child, was hearing a baby cry, like grocery shopping or something. I felt like, I was making the child cry because I was their mother or something, and they wanted me, but I wasn't in their life. It's so weird. It's so weird to hear that. It's like, wow, you got quite the ego, but I don't know. I don't know why I felt that way. And so the colors for red, white, and blue are significant for me because I saw this pickup truck once that was in front of us as we were driving, and eh, there was there's two different bumper stickers. One of them was of the American flag, which is red, white, and blue, and the other one was it said, "Oh, put on the full armor of God." And for some reason, I linked those two things to mean that the colors red, white, and blue is like wearing those colors is like putting on the full armor of God. So interesting but strange. Um, yeah, so and colors used to trigger me pretty bad. Like I did something where black was a really bad color to wear because I thought I was gonna hurt people if I wore black, and I felt wrong for thinking some thought that I had that, you know, I had when I was really um, psychotic. And I don't feel so triggered by colors anymore as I used to. Just, I still can't wear a black dress or a black top because of feelings that I have towards it and that I associate with a psychotic uh, thought about the color black. So, um, other than that, uh, that's about it. Thank you for listening.